Well, Scruffy. All right, welcome to episode 112 of Converse in the Ninjaverse. I'm Will,
I'm Chris.
And I'm Mike.
and we're all back here together because it's a very special week. It is pre-Avengers week.
It is pre-Avengers week. Pre-Avengers
Is that
2
like
week.
a official?
Pre-Avengers, yes. Age of Ultron. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week ties directly into Age of Ultron, so another one of those great shows going to shake up at the end of the season.
I'm playing catch up. I didn't even watch last week's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just watched last week's Flash.
Oh,
And that's been building fantastic. That feels like it's been building to a feature film.
it really does. Yeah.
I think Arrow is kind of almost like lost itself and got a little soap opera-y, which has been a lot of the criticism I've read of it.
Yeah, Arrow is hitting a slow point right now, but I think now with the last 4 episodes of each show, I think they're going to pick up, especially with Arrow coming into Flash for the last couple of episodes of the season.
Yeah, and S.H.I.E.L.D. has been doing some really interesting stuff and innovative stuff, and the fact that they've done so much in the past couple of weeks with the Inhumans for a movie that's not coming out for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, I have some Shield stuff to talk about actually also, so we'll get into that in a minute. But first, let's do the box office because before Avengers takes all the money, let's see what's going to lose money next week.
Box office isn't really that much changed from last week. Number one is Furious 7. Took in about $18 million this weekend.
Your reign of terror is over.
$320 million total. That's in its 4th week of release. Number 2 is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. About $15 million, $43 million total.
We talked about that last week.
And still don't really care.
Molly doesn't want to hear about Mall Cop 2.
Coming in at number 3 is The Age of Adeline. That came in, made $13.2 million. That's in its 1st week.
That seems like that's a woman that stops aging. It seems a very high concept for the style of the movie it is. It's almost like a sci-fi chick flick type of thing.
Yeah.
Or like I know nothing about it, and it made me think Benjamin Button, but I don't know enough about it. I haven't seen any reviews of it. It looks, it's got a really strong cast in it. So, it might be good, it might not. I really have heard 0 things about it aside from seeing the commercials.
Yeah.
I also haven't done the research. But it looks weird enough that it might be interesting. It doesn't show you an awful lot, but there's things happening. It's got I just had it on Rotten Tomatoes. It was like 83% positive, so that's a good sign for a movie I don't know anything about.
Yeah. That'll be in the Oscars.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. My page just updated. It's got 54%.
Oh.
The more reviews are in. Sorry, Age of Adeline. It's got 72% from the users. But it's 54% now. It's got old Harrison Ford in it. Get us ready for if you want to get ready for old
Han
Solo. I guess this is the movie to prime the pump for you.
Hopefully, it won't be mumbling.
Yeah.
Oh, like Expendables.
Yeah.
Oh, and Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 has gone up from last week on Rotten Tomatoes. It now has 4%.
Ooh. Oh my God! Why? Paul Blart? The first one was entertaining. No need for a sequel.
That entertaining.
And I didn't say that entertaining. Entertaining. Like nothing else on during the day. You flip the channel, it's on. I'm like, I'll watch this. That kind of entertaining. Not sequel entertaining.
Yeah, it's whatever. They pumped another one out on us.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Let's move to 4.
Number 4 is Home. That took in $8 million, $153 million total. That's in its 5th week. And then number 5 is Unfriended. That took in $6 million, $25 million total, and that's in its second week.
I kind of want to see that when it comes out, like, on Netflix.
Yeah.
It looks like, I mean, even the kids are kind of interested in it, because I guess it's geared towards them. It's their age horror movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, it does look, it kind of looks like almost, I know it's urban legend, almost.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of get that vibe out of it. But let's talk. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of has a lot of that. It feels like another one of those, like The Ring or one of those Japanese horrors, the modern horrors that were coming out of Japan. But I also, every time I see something that's like a horror movie that involves computers, I always think like Fear.com and some of these.
Terrible.
Fear.com was just a rip-off of The Ring. They cranked out a unlicensed American version of The Ring.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't like The Ring. I don't like that movie at all.
Yeah, I get a little worried, being a big horror fan and liking the classic horror and loving the 80s slasher horror. When I see the new modern stuff and it's computers that, it feels like they're trying too hard.
Well,
but I guess it's not to sound like an old man, but it's part of the things that it's what's out there and it's what's commonplace now.
These damn kids. Well, that's like a couple weeks ago. I mean, we didn't talk about it. During the MTV Movie Awards, they showed the promo for MTV's Scream TV show.
Okay.
I saw no Ghostface.
He's not going to be in it.
That's bullshit.
Because, when I think MTV, I think TV shows.
But if you're naming a show Scream, I mean, I understand the Friday the 13th show didn't have Jason in it, but you're taking
the new Friday the 13th show is going to have Jason in it.
There's a new Friday the 13th show?
Yeah, there's one they're working on. There's a Camp Crystal Lake or something like that.
Yeah,
Crystal Lake or something.
Yeah, probably like an origin story.
Yeah, I think so.
The girl's going to fall in love with Jason. It's going to be a whole thing. But if you're taking Wes Craven's Scream, wouldn't you have the iconic killer in the show?
Well,
they made, 6 of those movies?
4.
5 of those movies?
I still haven't seen the 4th one. I heard the 4th one was pretty good, actually.
Maybe they want to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, and the basic concept behind Scream, to me, it's not, the Ghostface killer was always something different. Not from the different
Ghostface Killer.
Every time we got to talk about the goddamn Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
We are conversing the goddamn Wu-Tang Clan verse now. I lost my train of thought because it got me thinking about the fucking Wizard and the Big Baby Jesus.
Ghostface Killer, that's where you're at.
All right. So it was always somebody different, and they kind of got away from the. I loved the original Scream because the concept of people of a generation obsessed with horror movies touched a base with me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if they're going to go into that with the show, that it's going to be a killer that is focused on horror movies and recreating horror or committing crimes in the style of the horror movie. I'm digging that concept. If that's the direction they're going, I have no idea. It could be another teen drama horror thing again.
Probably.
Yeah. I was excited when I heard Scream TV show, and then I saw the trailer, and my excitement left me.
Yeah, I have kind of stayed. I've heard some good things about some of the MTV shows, Teen Wolf, and a couple of the other things they've put out. But I feel like it's passed me by.
Don't get me started with Teen Wolf. I was so excited, and then terrible.
And it's not Michael J. Fox, Jason Bateman, Teen Wolf.
But they're still using styles and all that. I'm like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it's kind of done in the same vein as like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah. That they followed some of what was presented to you, but changed it, which makes sense for a TV series. Mm-hmm. And for a TV series that's gonna work, it can't just be the movie, because then why wouldn't you just watch the movie? If you look at the movie MASH and you look at the TV show MASH, it evolved into a much different thing than what the TV show was. over the course of 11 years.
Yeah. I think MASH I think on MASH, it was either on Hulu or Netflix now. It just popped up again, like with new episodes, but it's not new episodes. It's just
they only had like season. A couple months ago they put season 1 through 5 on, and now they have 6 through 11.
Yeah, I forgot that was on so long.
I think it's available, so you can watch all the MASH.
All the MASH.
And MASH isn't on TV like it used to be.
What would you do after MASH, though?
You don't watch after MASH.
I was watching. I talked about this last month when I was on a binge of watching 80s TV show openings, and especially like failed 80s TV show openings. And After MASH was on a couple lists that I saw.
How about the Charmings?
The Charmings was there.
Oh, that show was so terrible.
I was showing my wife the Charmings because we watched Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when Once Upon a Time came up, this is one of the things that came to mind for me was the Charmings. I think Sidekicks was something else that it was also stirred up in my head.
Yeah.
That was the buddy cop TV show with Gil Gerard and Eddie Reyes as the Karate Kid type of kid.
I remember that. God, that was terrible.
That was terrible.
All right.
I love that show.
Moving on.
That's one of my favorite. That was one of that and Half Nelson, starring Joe Piscopo. No, yes. Joe Pesci. I'm sorry. Were two of my favorite canceled '80s TV shows as a child.
My all-time favorite was Misfits of Science.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I was a huge Misfits of Science fan, and I need to find a copy of that somewhere.
It's in my living room.
I'm sure it is. But it's not in my living room, so it doesn't mean no good.
I'll hook you up.
You guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I have to take Molly out because she's staring at me, so I'll be right back. Continue this.
All right. So we'll continue.
Misfits of Science had Courtney Cox and the Predator in it.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I don't really remember a whole hell of a lot about it, but I just remember the concept was fucking cool as hell. Because I haven't seen it in. I'm what, 39?
Yeah, the better part of 30
I haven't
years.
seen it in 36 years, you know.
It was essentially a superhero TV show. It was like X-Men, done as a 80s action TV show. You know, in the days of Knight Rider and Street Hawk and Airwolf and things like that. And you had the dude who shot electricity. You had Kevin Hall, who was the guy who wore the Predator costume in Predator. He was a 6'8" guy that could shrink down to 6 inches. So he was kind of like an Ant-Man type of deal.
Yeah.
And then Courtney Cox was either telekinetic or super strong. I don't remember.
I think she had the telekinesis.
I think it was telekinesis. And then did I say the dude? Well, the one dude shot electricity, and then there was a guy who was their leader who didn't have any powers. He was just a scientist.
Yeah.
And they rode around in a van or an ice cream truck or something.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the van.
And fought crimes and other superpowered people.
And I don't think it lasted very long.
It was a season tops, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those shows. I remember fondly. Unfortunately, I don't remember much about it because, as I said, I probably haven't seen it in 36 years. But you know, I remember it fondly as a great '80s show that just never really caught on.
Yeah, it might have been a little too high concept. It'd be interesting for that to be revived as maybe a sci-fi network dramedy, you know, in the vein of Eureka or Warehouse 13.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Especially with the whole, influx of superhero style shows and comic booky style shows. You know, it might gain a following, especially if it's done well.
Yeah, and I think that I think we're ripe for a show that kind of goofs on the superhero genre a little bit, but not out and out, or a lighthearted kind of funny one, not something that goofs on it, but something that is like a dramedy in a vein of Monk and Psych and the other.
Not necessarily. and not necessarily something that is like established Marvel or DC characters.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about Misfits of Science?
We are still
talking about
Misfits
Misfits
of
of
Science. You
Science.
laughed at me. We turned this into Converse and the Misfits of Science.
So Wu-Tang and the Misfits of Science. That's what
And we still haven't finished the box office. We still have to do number 5.
No, we
hit 5.
We did 5. The only thing that we did 5, which was Unfriended.
Oh, I thought it was Ex Machina.
That's how we got here.
That's how we got here. It's some roundabout Ninjaverse kind of space-time continuum kind of way.
We just spent 20 minutes talking about Misfits of fucking Science.
We did. But speaking of superheroes, the box office is going to get real important this weekend when Avengers comes out. Avengers: Age of Ultron comes out, and it has already taken in $200 million
internationally.
Worldwide. And we haven't seen it yet. It hasn't hit over here yet.
Are we all seeing it this weekend?
Goddamn travesty.
I am going to try through hell and high water. I have several things going on this weekend, but I'm going to definitely try and get out there. I was invited to go see it at midnight, which I was considering, but I don't know. I'm gonna make it work.
I'm going up to
my weekend's a little busy as well. I'm gonna try to get to see it, but I kind of want to wait because I know my wife wants to see it, and she's really not going to be around, so I don't want to go see it without her.
You know, I'd leave her behind. It's fine. I told the kids if they're not in the car at 10 minutes after 8 in the morning on Sunday, they're beat.
Well,
I said we'll leave you behind.
That's something you'll have to deal with.
And now,
and I still haven't. I'm still behind on Daredevil. I'm still only 3 episodes into that because I've been running around like a maniac, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. And I keep seeing spoilers just pop up on Facebook posts.
And I have to give it another shot because I sat down. Saturday morning maybe. Friday night, Saturday morning, I sat down and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch some Daredevil. And I guess I just wasn't in the right mindset because I didn't like sit and watch it. I had it on and it was kind of lulling.
Oh, you gotta be able to sit there and pay attention.
So I have to give it another shot because at that point, like the first episode, I was bored with it. So I got to give it another shot.
It needs your attention because it's kind of film noir. It's not it's splashy. It's a slow build, but it gives you stuff as it goes. It reminds me more of something like The Sopranos than your typical superhero show.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it was bad, and I was bored with it. I just really I couldn't give it my focus.
Yeah. And it did get renewed for a second season.
Actually, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go back. I'm not even going to say it was this weekend. I'm going to say I put it on like Thursday when I was getting ready for MazeCon. So it might have been like 2 weeks ago. And getting ready for MazeCon, that just wasn't happening. I just was not focused on Daredevil.
You know,
so
and I did
give it another shot.
I did back-to-back conventions these past 2 weeks, and I don't think I'm ever going to do that again. Yeah, I'm goddamn exhausted, and my feet hurt from walking around stupid hotel room concrete floors. You know, I need to get some thicker rugs, or I need to get some better shoes.
Yes, either way, or new feet. But before we get off of the Avengers topic real quick, I just want to throw out there, Joss Whedon says that there is no after-credit scene, that there's only a mid-credit scene. Now, when the last Avengers came out, internationally, there was no after-credit scene. There was only the mid-credit scene. The shawarma scene was filmed after the Oscars. So I would advise everybody, sit through the credits anyway.
Yeah, I'm to the point where I rarely get up and leave because every time I've gotten up to leave, I've been burned. Big Hero 6 is a prime example.
Mm-hmm. You know what I do now when the credits are running? I've found, and sometimes it bites me in the ass because I read a little too much, but you get all those big, long animation credits that I look on Wikipedia real quick to see if it talks about the after credits scene, and then I debate if I have enough time to run and go take a leak because I drank a giant soda during a movie. Or am I going to sit there and do the pee-pee dance while I'm waiting for the names of 600 animator guys to go by. I mean, nothing against the animator guys.
Yeah.
Those guys work their balls off.
Yeah.
But the after credit scene thing is fun. But man, do I gotta pee sometimes at the end of those flicks.
Yeah, and as I said, there's only been a handful of times I've done it. The Wolverine movie was a prime one where I went and saw that with Mike, and we both left prior to the after credits scene, and we walked out, and then we heard people like, "Oh, did you see the after credits scene?" And we were like, "Son of a bitch!" Granted, it was shit, but that's beside the point, But I didn't stay.
Credit scene for Wolverine. I forget.
It was Deadpool's head and his hand.
Oh, that one. Oh, that
yeah,
one.
which was
the original.
stupid.
The original Wolverine had 2 different after credit scenes.
5.
Yeah.
5 different.
5. Because FX showed the movie 5 times in a row with 5 different endings.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember 2. I remember one of him sitting in Japan with the eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they asked, "Are you drinking to forget something?" And now I'm drinking to remember. And I remember the Deadpool one. I do not remember any of the others.
I'm pretty sure there was 5.
I'm looking them up now.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. But what was I going to say? There was a very grainy footage claiming to be after credit scene for Age of Ultron. That was
with Spider-Man?
Yeah, with Spider-Man. It could be, but I don't know.
No, that came out. I did see a thing. The guys who put that together kind of showed their making of it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that was shenanigans.
It would have been cool, though. That's kind of what I was thinking it would be if they were going to do a Spider-Man thing. Either something like that, or like you see the news report on TV, and then you just see a hand grab the mask and fly, and it jumps out the window.
Something like that. I don't think they're going to want to show Spider-Man yet, because depending on the design and who they cast and what they do, if I don't know, there maybe just a copy of the Daily Bugle.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're down to the list of 5 names for Spider-Man. I actually have that up right here. Asia Butterfield, who was in Hugo and Ender's Game. He's 18 years old. Timothy Chalamet, he's 20. He was Matthew McConaughey's son in Interstellar. So I didn't see Interstellar yet.
The only part of Interstellar that I've seen is when they put Matthew McConaughey watching the Star Wars trailer. And that pretty much summed it up for all of us that watched the Star Wars trailer.
Oh my God, the tears. Tom Holland, who's 19, he was best known for dramas The Impossible, How I Live Now, and Locke. Liam James, who's 19, he was in Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, The Killing, 2012. Oh, he was John Cusack's son in 2012. Nat Wolff from The Fault in Our Stars, and that's it.
I don't really know any of those kids. I've seen, I saw the kid in Interstellar.
Yeah, the kid from Ender's Game is kind of creepy looking.
And the kid from Interstellar, I mean, he's not in it that long because then he grows up and becomes Casey Affleck through half the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm trying to even remember him, and it's vague. And I didn't watch that movie that long ago. But like most of the people that they have been casting, I hope they just select whoever the best actor is.
Yeah. I mean, so far they've been spot on with their casting, so there hasn't been one iffy cast member in the whole thing. The one thing that is worrying me, though, is Ant-Man. Just because Paul Rudd's like laughing about it when he's doing an interview, which could be a Marvel work. Oh, it's Ant-Man, it's goofy, this, that, the other thing. But I don't know.
I'm a little worried about Ant-Man, just because, and I think the reason I'm worried about Ant-Man, and I think Mike and I kind of talked about it last week.
Is that it's Ant-Man?
No, not that it's Ant-Man, but it's like Marvel. I kind of feel like Marvel is kind of due for a little bit of a miss.
Yeah. And
because we kind of thought Guardians might miss, but once we started seeing stuff from it, I was like, well, we were all like totally on board for it. Where Ant-Man, it looks kind of cool, but I just kind of have a feeling Ant-Man's going to be the best.
scene of them fighting in the toy chest or toy set with the train tracks and all that.
The trains,
that was kind of fun.
Thomas the Tank Engine or whatever. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, my gut is just telling me that Ant-Man is going to be a little bit of a miss.
It lends itself to be a goofy movie, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
This is like years ago when they were talking about putting Jack Black as the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
That was a thing that was going to happen.
That should have never happened, and it didn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get too far off the rails, Mike, you brought up you did a double con 2 weekends in a row. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really with Chiller. Again, the crowd at Chiller this year, or like Amazicon the week before, was lighter, and I don't know if the guest list just didn't appeal to people, or cash is rough to come by for people, or they're saving up to go see the Avengers a bunch of times, or what's going on. But nice. It was a little lighter, which I don't mind. On a personal to go there as a fan, I don't mind because the lines are a little shorter, the place is a little less crowded, things get a little less aggravating. To me, it was I accomplished a lot of things that 12-year-old me would have always wanted to do. I met Mike Nesmith of the Monkees.
Nice.
And finished. Now I have all 4 Monkees autographs. And
Nice.
Little me, who in 5th grade went to go see the Monkees for his first concert ever, was quite happy with that. And
that's
I completed.
That's a good concert.
Yeah.
That's good
and
for concert.
And Weird Al opened, so it was
my first concert.
Even better concert.
My first concert was the Bangles.
Another good concert.
I'd go see the Bangles, but it's not the Monkees and Weird Al.
No, it's not.
And I also John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard. I got him to sign my piece that Tom Mopad had signed, and I completed my Dukes of Hazzard piece, so I was very happy again about that too. And Schneider couldn't have been nicer. I mean, the dude, I saw him over the course of 2 days through the weekend. He never stopped smiling, laughing, patting people on the back, hugging people. He was, and he looked like $1 million. He still looks like a TV star. He looks like a country music star. He looks like what you expect him to look like, and he was great. Just a great personality, and had that type of thing that like lights up a room.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things that it made your, the kid, as a kid growing up and being a big Dukes of Hazzard fan, you're like, this is awesome, and it's so cool that he's cool.
Yeah.
I met Michael Parks, of Robert Rodriguez movie and Kevin Smith movie fame.
Yeah.
And he was a bit out of it. I'm not sure how old Michael Parks is.
Well, Kevin Smith has been saying that he's been a little. Michael Parks has been a little under weather. They wrote a role for him in I guess Yoga Hosers, which is coming out, and they actually gave that role to Ralph Garman instead because Michael Parks has been kind of sick. So maybe that's what the problem. Maybe he's just being a little.
Yeah. I don't know. He was. I definitely saw him with a tissue. I saw him. He didn't look great, and he was. He was conversational enough, but not very outgoing. And for a guy who you want to hear talk, because I could just listen to a movie of 90 minutes of Michael Parks telling a story.
Yeah.
That conversation at the beginning of Dusk Till Dawn, you could just listen to that guy talk.
I love that movie.
All day, yeah. That whole scene in the liquor store, if that was 90 minutes long, and then to get to the gunfight at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been just a movie that I would have watched.
And Red State, which is a movie which is just fucking fantastic.
Yeah, Red State was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's old Michael Parks stuff that we've never seen. Like Along Came Bronson or Then Came Bronson or something like that.
Then Came Bronson. I'm actually pulling them up now.
Yeah, and that was Quentin Tarantino talks about that. That's why he went out and got Michael Parks for Dusk Till Dawn. And the guy just brings this, I guess gravitas is the word. He brings this weight of acting and this credibility to a movie that he's just a guy that's real and exists. I wish he was in better health and I had a chance to talk to him a little bit more, but I could kind of tell that he wasn't feeling it, so I let him be. I also saw Jake the Snake Roberts, who looks 10 years younger than he did 15 years ago.
Nice.
Which is awesome.
And he does have some horrifically dyed hair. He's got my hair is 40% gray now. And Jake the Snake Roberts has a full head of dark hair.
Hey,
I don't know who the fuck he thinks he's full.
yoga. Yoga does that to your hair.
Yes, it's the yoga hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna remember the guy. It's George. It's not George Merishon. He was the basketball player. George Mamet. He wrestled in WWE and F as Kurgan, but he was like the big guy from Sherlock Holmes and like the big guy in 300, and he's on The Strain now. I think he's the main villain in The Strain.
Okay. Never plays the little guy.
Oh no, he can't. He's like 6'9", big grippy hands on him, like gorilla hands.
Nice.
But again, he was a cool, engaging guy. We talked a little bit of wrestling. We talked the movies. He just kind of seems like he's having fun doing what he's doing. Like it's almost like he stumbled into it, and he's become that guy who's like what Richard Kiel was in the 60s and 70s, or Ted Cassidy.
He just plays that big, that big dude that,
Yeah, and I think he seems like he's a guy that has a nice enough personality that people are going to be like, I like that guy, I'm going to use him again.
Yeah.
He's not a big, I guess dumb jock would be but he just really came off as a nice guy, and I could see why people would want to put him in movies, because he's not just, he's physically imposing, but he seems like he'd be great to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and in the way back machine, I met Anne Margaret.
Oh, nice.
She's still alive?
And that's still alive. 74. Still looks great, 74. And then
That's
the
the right person, right?
Anne Margaret, Grumpy Old Men.
Okay.
And the Flintstones, Anne Margaret.
Bye-bye, Birdie.
Bye-bye, Birdie, yes. She
That's
was like
the thing I
20 when she did Bye-bye, Birdie, and then, she was in Tommy, the Who's Tommy. She's in Magic in 1979 or 1978 with Anthony Hopkins.
Her website needs to stop. When you click on her website, it already just starts playing music. That's so 1990s.
Yeah, well, she was a singer too, so.
Yeah, stop. Okay, enough. That's terrible.
So that was probably my big iconic get over the weekend. But in that typical older Hollywood lady, she's in a dimly lit room with sunglasses on and no taking pictures and no, which I could kind of understand, because at 74, somebody's snapping a cell phone camera picture of you, and you look like crap, and then it winds up on TMZ, and they start talking about when you're going to die.
Yeah.
She's got a permanent soft lens on her.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But, again, couldn't be, I expected her to be a little more aloof, but was nice and engaging. Typical for the people that come out to these shows. I always say it, and Chiller especially, they come out with that attitude of, hey, we want to meet the fans and we want to talk with people. And, she was good about it. And, people bitching in line. There was an older crowd standing in line for a lot of people in their 50s and 60s. And they're like, she wants this much money for a picture and this much money for an autograph. And it's like, hey, man, if, what you need the money for, it's like, to me, it's like, if you don't want to pay it, don't fucking pay it. You don't know what she's doing with that money. She could be donating it to orphans or animal shelters or whatever. Yeah. Maybe she does need the money. Maybe she invested poorly over her life. She has her husband is an actor, and he's been fighting MS for many years or something. So, maybe they do need the money. So,
fuck off.
Exactly. I'm one of those autograph people that I'm willing to pay to get an autograph than hassle somebody for free. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to hide in the bushes outside somebody's apartment to jump out. And I don't even like, being a New York area guy, the people that hang out around the Broadway shows to get autographs, that's really like a cutthroat thing. And I'd almost rather pay the money, have a moment to be, that you can like engage and you're not cutting into these people's lives. Mm-hmm. If they're coming to see me, it's worth it for me to pay for an autograph than stand in line for 4 hours for a free autograph.
Yeah.
You know, or stand around and wait in hopes of getting a free autograph.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even see bothering somebody on an airplane or at the airport or something like that. I was working at an airport for a day with my job, and I ran into D'Lo Brown from WWF. D'Lo Brown. It was one of those things like you recognize him and you don't know why you know him. And I'm just like, hey, man, what's going on? I wasn't going to stop him and be like, hey, here, sign my toolbox or whatever. I'm like, go catch your flight, man. I'm not, or some people just come off a plane. I can't see bothering people like that. And people give me crap sometimes for like, oh, you pay to get autographs? I'm like, yeah, it's something I collect. And it's easier for me. I enjoy it more paying to get them than going out. If somebody wants to sign for free, where I've been places where people have signed for free, even at some of these paid shows, they're like, hey, I don't charge, man. Go ahead. That's that's been cool with me. I've gotten free autographs at shows. I've gotten non-free autographs at shows, and I've never really complained about a price. If it's too much and I'm not going to pay it, I don't pay it.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, when they were giving Stallone was asking $300.
Yeah.
I guess if he can get it, good, he can get it.
It's ridiculous. I remember that.
And I think with what you're saying, and with you're standing online, you're paying to get the autograph. I think the people signing tend to be a little more personable.
Yeah.
When you're doing that, as opposed to seeing them in the airport and shoving a napkin in their fucking face.
Oh yeah, because they've purposely come out to talk with the fans. And it's not like, hey, I'm taking a leak. Hey, when you're done taking a leak, can you sign this for me?
Yeah.
That's the story that you hear from a lot of these people. And then somebody goes in, and then sometimes you never know what somebody's doing. They could be running late. They could just not be in the mood. They don't want to start a whole crowd of people signing autographs. So they tell somebody no about an autograph or a picture, and then that person goes online and starts saying, oh, this guy's a jackass because he didn't sign for me. He couldn't just give me a couple minutes of his life, but you don't know what that person's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the same people. I bet you if I came and knocked on their door and be like, hey, can I talk to you for a couple of minutes just about some bullshit that's personal to me? Can I have a couple of minutes of your life? People would kick me in the ass. Tell me to get fucking lost. So I get a little pissy when I see people that are angry about somebody coming out to sign.
Yeah.
They don't have to be doing this. It's nice enough that they are, and it's a business. I'm sorry. If they want to do it for charity, maybe they do it for charity. There are people who do. I know Mick Foley, all the money he makes, he donates to something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, various children's charities and stuff.
Yeah. Other people do that too. Some people state that they are giving it to a charity. Other people, if they want to give money to a charity privately, they're perfectly allowed to do that too. There's a lot that people don't know, and then they just jump on somebody's shit about they think that they're charging too much for an autograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. If you think you're charging too much for the autograph, don't get the fucking autograph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Vanilla Ice, one time he was charging too much for a ticket. I got to go see him at the concert at Ray's American Cafe.
Are we talking about Vanilla Ice again?
He was charging $20 for those tickets.
Yeah, but this was before he even had it. It was too much.
$20, and you probably could have been close enough that you could have made out with him like your ridiculous fucking man crush on this man that you have.
I do not.
And you wouldn't pay the $20.
I recently, I don't know where it is. I'll have to show it to you. Well, I came across my picture in the paper of me and Vanilla Ice when he was playing a local bar by me, a bar with a stage.
Really?
And I think we paid like $15 to get in and see Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, he was playing at Ray's American Cafe on LBI or whatever, yeah. And he was like $15-$20.
I think it was like 30.
No, it wasn't, because that was from when I was working at the photo lab. We're gonna go, and then
that's right.
And I wasn't making crazy money then, so me dropping $15 on Vanilla Ice was, would have been a lot of money.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to eat for like a month, which probably in hindsight would have been a good thing. But hey.
Well, I think that kind of wraps up my rant on being pissed at people that bother people.
Your rant on being pissed at people who are pissed at people?
Yeah, I got pissed at people who are pissed at people. We're very metaphysical there. Hey, knock it off. Be cool about things, you fucking assholes.
All right. Well, I have a couple bits of Marvel news. As we said, Avengers is coming out this weekend. And Chris Evans was talking about Civil War and Infinity War and all that stuff. He said they're going to start filming Civil War in the fall, like this fall-ish. But Infinity War is going to film for 9 months because they're filming it back-to-back.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of Avengers floating around that movie.
Yeah.
So many.
And some Guardians. And
yeah. And some Spider-Man.
And maybe some X-Men.
No X-Men. No X-Men unless something amazing happens. Because the X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're Inhumans. They're not X-Men.
You know what? We didn't think we were going to see Spider-Man, so
Yeah, at this point, I guess anything could happen.
anything is possible.
Let's wait.
But they have done with this Inhumans world that they've been building now in the Marvel Cinematic / television universe.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely has an X-Men vibe.
They are setting up so much in S.H.I.E.L.D. They're setting up the Registration Act. They're setting up the Inhumans. They are laying such groundwork in S.H.I.E.L.D. And this week's episode ties directly into Age of Ultron. So, watch S.H.I.E.L.D. for God's sake. There's so much cool stuff happening on it. Like this, not this. You didn't see? Did you see this week's, Mike?
No, I'm still behind a couple days.
All right. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but it kind of makes you sympathize a little bit with
Ultron?
No. Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde.
Yes.
They kind of make him a sympathetic character in this episode, and it's really, really well done.
I could tell they were building towards that the week before,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of. I mean, it's almost the way they've been structuring him to begin with. That he is a psychopath, but he went crazy in an attempt to get his life back and take revenge on people who, the people that hurt his wife and.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's cool is I know you're not that far into Daredevil, but they actually make Wilson Fisk a character you give a fuck about. Like, he is so deep in the Daredevil show.
That's the thing that makes a compelling villain in any of these shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they said Magneto worked so well in the X-Men, because you felt for Magneto. The first thing you see in Magneto is his Nazis dragging away his parents.
Yeah, Nazis got his mom.
Yeah, Nazis had his mom, yeah. And that he had that self-righteousness that it was not just a guy who threw on a cape and a mask and said, "I'm Dr. Doom." It's
or Dr. Von Doom, the blogger.
Yeah, it's.
God damn it.
Yeah, we tore that up last week when you weren't here.
Yeah.
I know. I can't. Let's not even talk about that right now.
Yeah, but that was one of the things that hurt those movies, the Fantastic Four movies, was they just kind of had Doom there. And you're like, oh, this guy's a douchebag on all kinds of levels, and I don't care.
Like the Italian Red Skull.
Yeah. I mean, Red Skull, when the Italian Red Skull was a whole different story. But and Red Skull in Captain America, I think part of the reason why, they're not using him again is because he's kind of just that one-dimensional, all right, he's super Nazi.
Yeah.
And you can only go so far with that. Hopefully they bring him back. I'm hoping for Civil War that he gets involved, that he's kind of been manipulating things secretly.
That movie is ballooning to Batman versus Superman proportions of how many heroes they're trying to squeeze into that movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they're going to do anything close to the Civil War storyline, I mean, that had everybody in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why, that's why it's going to be 2 movies.
Well, no. Civil War is going to be 1 movie. Infinity War is 2 movies.
Infinity War. Yeah, all right, yeah.
And I still wish they were doing Captain America Serpent Society.
Yeah.
That would be
That'd be, that would be a cool movie. I'd feel like, to me, it had it would be like an Indiana Jones vibe.
Yeah, that would
It would be
Who
cool
knows? We might get that at some point.
if they do Serpent Society, and that's the way they introduce Namor into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh my god. Marvel's Aquaman. He has wings on his ankles.
Oh, yeah.
I can't deal with that. I
He's
never
the first-
understood that.
He's a mutant.
I know he's a mutant, but he has wings on his ankles.
Hey, it
He's
was
gonna fly. He'd be flying upside down by his feet.
He's still cooler than Aquaman.
All right, listen. Aquaman's a badass. I stand by my statement.
Namor's pretty cool.
Namor's got weird hair.
I like Namor.
I dig Namor too, and Namor is kind of the like he does more face and heel turns than any other.
He really
hero.
does. He's all about that Sue Richards, though.
Yeah, well, that's part of the thing. You never know what Namor you're gonna get. He's like Randy Macho Man Savage. One day he's a good guy, and he's your buddies, and you're in the Mega Powers together, and then the next day he's pissed about his girl and what's going on, and he's
Or
sending a giant whale after you.
Or in more recent wrestling analogies, the Big Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I can't even watch wrestling anymore.
He's a good guy. He's a bad guy. He's a good guy. He's a bad guy. He's a good guy. He's a bad guy.
He's whatever the script needs him to be at the moment.
The only thing Big Show does that Namor doesn't is cry.
True.
I think about the Marvel stuff. It was something that was coming off Netflix that I had for a long time. It was a Stan Lee documentary. That I want to say Epix did it, but I'm not sure. And it was called With Great Power or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting documentary. And one of the things that people give Stan Lee a lot of shit for is that he's like, oh, I created, they're like, well, you didn't create these characters by yourself. Through this whole documentary, he talks about if it wasn't for Jack Kirby, I wouldn't have had this, and Jack Kirby was his imagination, and Jack Kirby's vision, and Jack Kirby's that. And then developing Spider-Man, he's like, Jack Kirby kind of missed the mark on what Stan Lee wanted, and he goes, I'm going to try something different, and he gave it to Steve Ditko, and then he talks about signing stuff to Ditko that says, you are a co-creator of Spider-Man. Stan Lee in this documentary makes a big point of pointing out that Ditko was as instrumental in the creation of Spider-Man as he was. So I think the media kind of loves to say Stan Lee created all these comics and all these characters, and Stan Lee can't constantly be naming everybody else that he's ever worked with.
Yeah.
So he kind of just has to take the rub and run with it. But they even talked about, there was a newspaper article in the 70s, or the 60s or the 70s about when Marvel was really in their big hue, when they overtook DC in sales. And they're talking with Stan Lee, and Jack Kirby was there, and the article actually kind of made Jack Kirby look bad, that he was just kind of this hanger-on artist.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee was apologetic to him about it, at least in the documentary.
Well, from what I heard in Age of Ultron, they do credit Jack Kirby with in one of the, it's a special shout-out screen, kind of like what they did with Howard the Duck in Guardians.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they kind of do something special for Jack Kirby in this one, from what I heard.
Cool.
So,
it's one of those that every comic book fan knows. Jack Kirby was, but then the rest of the world, it's like, you see Stan Lee, maybe, who knows? Jack Kirby might have been more involved if he was alive, but it's not Stan Lee's fault that he didn't die.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Stan Lee got that Iron Man pacemaker now, so.
Yeah. He'll live forever.
Yeah. The last little bit of Marvel stuff I have is today they released the picture of Nightcrawler from X-Men Apocalypse, which is coming out May 27th, 2016. And I gotta say, I kind of dig the look better than Alan Cummings' X-Men 2 one, because it looks more like the comic book Nightcrawler. He's got red and black on his jacket. He looks like the cartoon Nightcrawler. So I kind of dig the way that looks. The picture is a little blurry, but whatever. Looks like Nightcrawler.
Yeah, that's a cool. Cool picture.
Yeah. So
That leads us into another picture.
it does lead us into another picture because let's talk about DC for a minute. Friday, right? Was it Friday?
I believe so.
I want to say it was Friday. Friday night, because DC likes to make these crazy announcements Friday night, like when Ben Affleck's Batman. A picture hit the internet of Jared Leto in Joker garb, but it kind of looked like he stepped off the Juggalo convention because he's all tatted up and he had a grill and tattoos everywhere and it said, "This is the official look of Suicide Squad's Joker, blah, 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 first picture." And the internet said no.
And I, like the rest of the internet, fucking hated
Now,
it.
Chris hated it to his core.
I don't want to say I hated it to my core. There were a couple things that I hated about it. And I know, like, one of them was one thing you didn't like, and a lot of people didn't like. I didn't like that he had damaged written on his forehead.
Yes, I didn't like that because the rest of his tattoos, he had like ha ha ha.
You know, years ago, that was a tattoo I wanted to get.
On your forehead?
No, on the back of my head. When I had long hair and then like the side and the back of my head shaved. I wanted to get like a rubber stamp look that said like defective or something on the back of my head.
And even that I would have gotten, but the way these tattoos were, he had a grinning smile on his forearm, on his left shoulder it said ha ha ha. He had a picture of a jester on his right, but across his forehead in cursive, very neatly written, was damaged. And goddamn it, that tattoo annoys me so much.
You know what I think I hated even more than that tattoo?
What?
The stupid fucking J teardrop on his cheek.
I didn't even notice that was a J until I looked closer at the picture. I thought it was just like a teardrop. So
And don't even get me started on the grill.
now, and the grill, I understand. It wasn't really a grill. It was more caps on his teeth from when Batman punched him in the mouth. So I got that. So all weekend, the internet was raging about this. Apparently, within 24 hours, a guy was already cosplaying at a convention as that Joker the next day, which is pretty fun. At Wizard World Las Vegas. So, the memes.
Oh, yeah.
The memes. They had the new picture of Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, and he was all tatted up.
Great.
That was great. They had Home Alone Joker in New York, and it was Jared Leto with the thing behind him. But today they said, "Oh, that wasn't the official look. That was just the way he's going to look as far as the makeup and all that. But the tattoos were just for the 75th anniversary of the Joker." To which I smell bullshit.
I completely smell bullshit. And the thing is, minus the tattoos and the stupid gold metal caps on his teeth, he looks fucking cool.
He does. He looks like it's a different look from like the Joker. There's no scars. All
It
that.
just really came across as like, it's all weekend. Oh, this is the official look. This is the official look. This is the official look. And the fucking nerd fanboys on the internet, myself included, blew the fuck up. And all of a sudden on Monday, it's like, well, no, it was for the 75th anniversary, which makes no fucking sense. Because when in his 75 fucking years did he look like that? Ever.
Well, some of the tattoos are representative of different periods in the Joker's existence.
I get that. Like with the ha 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 on him, that was from the cover of, there's like that iconic picture of him. Holding the cards up.
Now, I saw your guys' bit of a debate on Facebook about it, and I didn't get involved because when I saw that picture, I was like, well, that ain't real.
One of the
I just couldn't buy into it. And then looking at the tattoos, I'm like, the tattoos just kind of look photoshopped on. Like, they're not like, that's not the way tattoos look when they put tattoos on somebody in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a weird...
That's not really how tattoos look in person either, It's like...
Well, tattoos in a movie look
how
like
that works.
tattoos to the most part, unless it's a real cheese movie. What I do like was the grin on his arm. So he put his arm in front of his face like a mustache tattoo.
I did like that. I thought that was cool.
But I mean, the whole thing, I was just like, I'm going to wait and see. And it was a great marketing move So you release this on Friday, then people who are home from work have nothing to do but talk about it on the internet for 2 days and make stuff up and get it around, and it gets all over the place. And
Which
Suicide
seems
Squad
to be
got more promotion in those 48 hours than it has since they announced the movie's coming.
I'm more excited for Suicide Squad than Batman Superman anyway.
And that just seems to be Warner Brothers DC's marketing moves lately. It's let's piss off the fan base and then they'll talk about it and that'll promote our movie. You know?
Listen, word of mouth marketing can be good. But
there's a point where we're just I'm just gonna stop really caring, and I'm getting close.
I'm just glad that damage tattoo wasn't permanent because goddamn, I hated that tattoo so much. Oh, it bothered me.
You know, the thing is, like, I could have done the damage with the damage tattoo.
Mm-hmm. If it was scraggly.
If it looked like he did it himself,
yes,
and it was backwards.
Yes.
Like he did it in a fucking mirror.
Now,
or if some of the letters were backwards, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, in Frank Miller's All-Star Batman and Robin, which I did read because I actually enjoyed that series, even though it gets shit on for the dialogue and all that stuff. I bought it for the artwork because I'm a huge Jim Lee fan. Joker does have a giant smiling dragon tattoo on his back, so I kind of thought that's where they were going when this was the official look of the Joker. But it was that fucking damage tattoo made me so mad. Like, even if it scrolled ha 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 across his forehead, fine. It's just, it was too on the nose. But it doesn't matter anyway because it wasn't.
It was such a contrived, like, hipster look.
Yeah, somebody said it looked like he fell into a vat of Hot Topic.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just a bad look.
Yeah.
It was a bad
I'm happy
look, but it was a smart move because you got people talking about it.
Got people talking about it. But again.